You won't believe what happened when I shared a hotel room with my boss during a business trip. My husband found out, and he filed for divorce the very next day. This isn't just another story about cheating. It's about how I lost myself, my identity, my marriage, and my career, in a storm of poor choices and secrets I could no longer hide. It all began with what seemed like a regular work trip. Our company was sending me and my boss to attend a conference in another city. But due to budget cuts, they booked just one hotel room for the two of us. When I first heard that, I was stunned. Sharing a room with my boss. That felt completely inappropriate. But I convinced myself I could manage it. After all, it was only for a couple of nights, and we were both married, mature adults. Nothing serious would happen, or so I thought. The truth is, my boss and I had a complicated past. We had shared private moments, secret conversations over the past few months. But it never seemed serious. We both had families, and we believed we knew our boundaries. It was a careless escape, something I told myself didn't really matter. I thought I had control. But when we arrived at the hotel and realized the key was for a single room, that sense of control began to slip. I remember walking into that room with a heavy feeling in my chest. There was only one bed. Just one. I wanted to ask for a separate room, but the hotel was fully booked. My heart was pounding, and I tried to stay composed. My boss acted calm, but I could see the unease in his eyes too. That first night was unbearable. I couldn't sleep. My mind kept racing, thinking about what this meant, and what my husband would say if he found out. My boss tried to keep things light, acting like nothing would happen. But as the night went on, the lines between right and wrong began to blur. We laughed. And then we crossed that invisible line we swore never to cross. That night I forgot who I was. I forgot the vows I made, the life I had built. For a few hours I became someone else. Reckless, thoughtless. My boss and I ended up sharing that bed. It wasn't planned. It wasn't supposed to happen. But it did, and I couldn't take it back. Meanwhile, back home, my husband kept calling me over and over. But I didn't answer. I was scared. I knew that if I picked up, he would start asking questions. He would sense something was wrong. And I wasn't ready to face the truth, that I was sharing a hotel room. Sharing a bed with another man, my boss, was something I never imagined I'd do. So I ignored my husband's calls, foolishly hoping that silence would somehow protect me. What I didn't know was that he wasn't giving up. He kept trying to reach me, calling again and again, desperate to hear my voice. When he couldn't get through, he went to my workplace. He spoke with the receptionist and asked where I had gone. They told him about the conference and gave him the name of the hotel where we were staying. I had no idea he was on his way. When my husband arrived at the hotel, the moment he walked into that room destroyed everything. He saw me and my boss in the same room, the same bed. The look of betrayal in his eyes was unbearable. At first he didn't say anything. Then he shouted, his voice full of pain and rage. I tried to explain, tried to tell him it wasn't what it looked like, but he wouldn't listen. He turned away and stormed out of the room. I ran after him, begging him to stop, to hear me out, but he didn't even turn around. He got into his car and drove away, leaving me behind, alone, shattered and full of regret. When I finally returned home, the worst was waiting for me. My husband was packing my clothes. With a cold and broken voice, he told me it was over. He said he would file for divorce the next day. I begged him not to do it. I apologized over and over, told him it was a terrible mistake, a moment of weakness. But his decision was final. He refused to hear another word. The days that followed were a nightmare. My boss, afraid that his own wife might find out and leave him, completely cut me off. He ended all communication with me. He gave me some money as if that could fix anything, and then he fired me. He wanted to erase every trace of what happened between us. Now I'm left with nothing. No husband, no job, no sense of self. That one night, that one awful choice, cost me everything I loved. I live with the consequences every single day, trying to gather the broken pieces of a life I destroyed. This story is a warning. Sometimes crossing a line once is enough to ruin your entire world. And the hardest part isn't what happened. It's living with the silence, the guilt, and the loneliness that came after.